But you know, one of the things that that we saw happen sort of pre-COVID with you know, just generated out of people's experiences in a particular workplace in Newcastle, where you know, they, again, male-dominated industry or sector of the industry, those guys recognised that there was, you know, some serious challenges that were going on within their workplace. That you know, their workmates weren't reaching out for support to the EAP, to the employer, to anybody else but them on the job, and you know, really took it upon themselves to understand why that was happening, what the work was doing and how that was impacting these people, and what they could go and do to be skilled up to be able to provide brief intervention and some assistance on the job. And you know, they created their own rudimentary peer support initiative, linked it in with the employer, and the employer was instrumental in supporting it, linked it in with the employee assistance provider, and were really able to, you know, progress forward in understanding and being able to support their workmates who were just experiencing, you know, the normal societal pressures and you know, financial issues, relationships, substance abuse, you know, gambling, all those sorts of things, but in a really meaningful way, where they were no longer you know, relying on having to take a day off or you know, pushing through it themselves. They had their peers to sort of help them through, and I think that was a really successful story of grassroots, you know, identification and application to fixing an issue that, you know, they saw was within their remit to be able to fix, which was the brief intervention part, where someone comes to them and says, I've got a problem, and you don't stand there and go, oh, that's nice, mate, don't bring them to work. You know, they stood there and said, tell me about it, you know, and I've got some training, and I care about you, and we're going to do some things to help you so that, you know, you're a functional member of this workplace and a functional member of your community, and you know, so that you know, the employer doesn't have to bring to bear the types of consequences that have befallen other workers in other workplaces where they haven't been able to clearly articulate what their issues are and how a treatment plan should, you know, be initiated. And you know, again, the employer were terrific in that space, because, you know, they were looking to understand, why do we have to deal with these issues when they've become HR issues, where there's so many other steps beforehand where we could have actually got involved and done some meaningful you know, treatment. And it doesn't have to be us. We don't have to be the HR department didn't have to be the ones initiating. It was okay that the workers did it, you know. And I think that's a really great example, you know, of a success story, I suppose. And that lingers on, and it's still there in that workplace, and you know, it's had a great impact.
That's I think a great example of, again, the importance of consultation and actually getting, you know, that I think when you see those grassroots initiatives, often they're the most successful and they have the most impact, because they really do have that ownership at, you know, across the organisation at that frontline level, rather than being viewed as, oh, this is just something that management's doing to cover their own backside. So again, I think emphasising the importance of really good, robust, comprehensive consultation with the workforce, not just to get token buy-in, but actually, you know, getting them to come up with or contribute to the solutions and have ownership of those solutions and really carry it forward.
Morning tea or a box of fruit every Monday, or a stress ball, you know, it was something that it was something the employer said, well, you know, we know we've got an obligation and we're searching for remedies, but we want to hear about this and we want to see how this can work in our workplace because it benefits everybody here. And I think that, as you alluded to with the consultation, you know, consultation isn't just walking out of your office and saying, well, let's have a talk about this thing, this idea that I've got to tell you how to do what I want you to do. Consultation is, my door's open and you've walked through it and given me an idea that I didn't have before. And now we're going to talk about it. And now I'm going to do whatever I can within my remit to ensure that it goes somewhere and delivers something, whatever that might be.